After leaving the Blue Door Soup Kitchen in Sudbury, I'm riding to Campbellford, to one of the most culturally diverse provinces in the country, Ontario. Tucked inside these borders are amazing people from all over the planet who migrated here and brought some of their favorite recipes with them. Today, I have a date with the Arepa Queens. Two friends, one from Nicaragua, the other from Venezuela. If you've never had an arepa, stay tuned. First, I'm going to spend a few days camping before I get there to explore some of Ontario's lush forests and abundant lakes.
Welcome to Muskoka. Lots and lots of lakes. It's turtle time. Hey little fellow, how you doing?
I'm not sure that digging a hole in the center of the road is the best hiding spot for these little guys, but it makes for some great turtle selfies. Turtle soup, anyone? Hi, I'm Kix. I love food, travel, and motorbikes. This year, I wanted to see my own backyard, Canada. So I decided to ride the second largest country in the world, coast to coast, on a 250cc dirt bike. It was an incredible opportunity to see the real Canada from inside the kitchens of real Canadians. These are the people and foods that make up this incredible country. Welcome to the Cooked in Canada motorcycle adventure. I spent the night in the woods at Turtle Camp and woke up in the morning with a flat tire. The prequel to this was a couple of days earlier, I'd pinched another tube and needed to change it. And now this replacement tube had 2 holes in it. Oh man. Luckily, I had lots of practice and was back on the road before lunch.
And look at this drive. Just wrapped by trees around on all sides. This is beautiful. Wow.
I spent some time exploring around before spending the night on an exposed rocky edge. It was nice, but I thought for the next night, it might be more fun to explore deeper into the bush. Well, that was a bad idea.
These mosquitoes. Holy smokers.
In this moment of desperation, I'm frantically trying to get into the tent without letting in some of the blood-sucking mosquitoes.
Oh, I got like 10 in here. There's one. There's one. Anybody else? Want to feel the rest? Oh my god.
After a night being held captive inside my own tent, enough was enough. The next night, I opted to pull into a roadside motel. But I must have been riding through some sort of time warp right into the 70s.
Clean. Oh man, it's so good. Look at those chairs. And like the lamp is still the same. And this, whatever those fake wood walls are. Oh my god, this place is incredible.
After a mosquito-free night in the 70s motel, wait, did mosquitoes even exist in the 70s? Anyways, Goose and I were headed to Algonquin Park to soak up lake life and do some swimming.
We are in Algonquin Provincial Park. I'm gonna go for a little dip. Look at this. Ooh, it's so good. It's a little twiggy right here. Actually, we might go over a few feet to where there's a rock.
The swim was refreshing, but the sleep, not so much.
Well, this is interesting. It's like 10:30 at night time. I stood outside because I heard something fall off of my bike. I'm like, that's weird. Why would something fall off my bike? And then out there's a fucking raccoon stealing my bag. The bag that's like magnetic to the bike that it takes a bit of effort to get off. Oh no, there's bugs in here. So if you look in here, now I took all the shit off the bike and brought it in here. And I had to chase a raccoon up the tree, and they hissed at me like he was gonna come attack me, little fucker. So anyways, all our shit's in here now. I don't think he can steal anything else off the bike. There's a couple of things locked up on the inside, but I think there was just a banana in this bag that he wanted or something like that. So anyway, the food's in the tent now, which is in the optimal way for camping, but a little fucking raccoon, what a little bastard.
After a night of tussling with raccoons, I had a couple of problems to solve. One, I'd melted the strap on one of my motorcycle bags. I needed to find someone who could sew it back in place. Not cheap. This little piece of material here was $26 to have these two little things sewed on here. But they did solve a problem I have in record time, so I guess that's what you pay $26 for two straps for. Two, I had to find some better internet than my campground 3G off my cell phone for an interview I had coming up. CBC Canada caught wind of my adventure and wanted to know if they could help. Good timing, as I was headed to Quebec and didn't know enough about the cultural foods to know where to start. Luckily, CBC had my back.
Author, blogger, and explorer of sorts, Kix Marshall is coming to Quebec to eat. He's crossing Canada on a motorcycle in search of the foods that tie Canadians to their culture, and he plans to write a book about what that food means to us. Kix has already written a memoir about another epic road trip from Canada to Argentina. That's titled Claire, starting with a K, A Man, a Monkey, and a Motorcycle Adventure to the End of the Earth. Now he's coming to Quebec, and he's going to be on the lookout for people who show him what foods are important to them. Kix is in Campbellford, Ontario right now, and we've joined him live this morning. Hi, Kix. Welcome to All in a Weekend.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you in Campbellford?
Really good, actually. I am doing really good. I'm actually not far from Algonquin at the moment. I'm headed to Campbellford tomorrow.
Okay. Algonquin's really nice.
Oh, such a good place. Oh, man. Moose and foxes and scenery and lakes. What a good part of the country.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. Tell me about the focus of this book. What are you looking for?
Sure. So I thought that I would go across the country, and if I wanted a dirt bike, it would be more of an in-your-face way to get to know people and meet people, and there would be sort of no barriers, and it's also kind of interesting. And I was hoping to go through as many small towns and sort of regionally specific parts of the country in order to capture stories about Canadian culture and cuisine.
And what kind, so you want to speak to people, but are you speaking with chefs? Are you speaking with restaurants, like kiosks? What kind of people are you looking to speak to?
We're looking to speak to real people. And so before I left, there was a few rules that I put in place. And one was that I didn't want to go to places that could be Google reviewed. So no restaurants and nothing along those lines. I wanted to meet the real people in Canada and find out which foods were most culturally important to them, which has been a challenge, I'll tell you what. It's one thing to just go on Yelp or Google and find a restaurant and call someone up and say, hey, can I come over and talk about your food? That's really easy. But to find people in small communities and out-of-the-way places and talk your way into their kitchen and sit at their dinner table and have them show you a regional meal and sit in their face with a camera and get them to explain why that food's so important to them and their family and how it evolved in that area has definitely been a challenge. But once you're in the door, whew, man, people are friendly.
Kix, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck. And listen, get in touch with us when the book is finished, please.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That'd be great. Thanks a lot for your help. The thing I was most worried about was Quebec, and CBC stepped in and united the country again. So I appreciate it so much.
We do what we can. Have a great trip.
I was headed to Aunt Flora's. Actually, my friend's aunt, not mine. But I've since adopted her after she gave me a place to sleep one night in Central America during a motorcycle trip I did from Canada to Argentina. Holy crap, I nearly smoked that bird. Between the wet roads and the foggy visor, this would not have been a good day for catching a bird in the face. Anyways, back to my story. I originally met Aunt Flor while riding through Nicaragua. She let me and my then girlfriend Angie camp on her doorstep. That night, while sitting in the backyard of the home she grew up in, Flor explained life in Nicaragua during the Civil War between the Sandinistas and the Contras. A horrific story of what it was like to grow up hiding in a hole in their backyard to survive, living off rations, and eventually fleeing to Canada. I wrote a chapter about Aunt Flora in my book, Claire, titled Body Boxes and Toothpaste Rations. If you ever thought you had a difficult upbringing, I compel you to read this story. I arrived 30 minutes late, but after riding in the rain most of the day, I was just in time for the sun to come out.
Hola! Hola, ladies! Costa! Bien, bien.
Flora's friend Lucy is here today, who was born in Venezuela. Unfortunately, one of the countries I couldn't get to while traveling South America.
You know Venezuela, you went through Venezuela.
Wow, no, you couldn't go through Venezuela when I was there, but
it just opened up again at the border with Colombia, but no, it was when I was there. We went to 𝗂𝗂𝘁. Yeah.
The border.
Yeah, and I had a friend there, and so we got to go to the border.
I also wrote about this experience in my book, and I might suggest reading it.
But yeah, I want to go.
Yeah, try to go,
Yeah.
especially to see the ocean.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Beautiful.
It'd be such a good time to go.
Oh.
As one of the most culture diverse countries on the planet, Canada is made up of a vast number of immigrants from all over the world. And with them come some of the most unique cultural traditions and incredible foods. Friends Flora and Lucy immigrated to Canada from Latin America, but for very different reasons. Here they found commonality in each other's rich Latin heritage, and today we are making Venezuelan arepas with a touch of Nicaraguan influence.
To make some Venezuelan food. It's a typical, it's a typical plate in Venezuela. It's called arepas.
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 Oh, exciting.
It's very popular in Venezuela, and it's made from corn flour water. Very simple.
Yeah.
The arepa is one of Venezuela's most recognized street foods and comfort foods. A corn flour-filled delight often stuffed with meats, cheeses, and vegetables. A staple in both Colombia and Venezuela. Similar in design to the El Salvadorian pupusa or the Mexican gordita. This dish has remained relatively unchanged in its design as far back as 3,000 years ago. The duo prepared arepa perico as one of the fillings. This particular version is made from egg, tomato, onion, red pepper, and a bunch of seasonings. On the side was Aunt Flora's refried beans and feta cheese.
Okay, and these are beans. Usually in Venezuela we use black bean, but she's from Nicaragua, so she liked more the red one. The red one.
It's a compromise.
But it's for me it's the same. They're so good.
Today we're going Nicaraguan style,
Okay.
as the arepa collides with influences from three countries: Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Canada.
So is this a dish you would have had as a kid?
No, actually they keep, they do this still. I do every week in my house. I do the arepas, and I always make the reina pepiada, the beans, the eggs, and there is something with beef that is good too. We call carne mechada. But we couldn't do that today.
This looks amazing.
That's gonna be next time.
That looks great. This looks so good.
Yeah.
Lucy and Flora prepare the filling, reina pepiada, by mixing seasoned shredded chicken with avocado, mayo, and salt to make a sort of avocado and chicken salad. Being the gringo that I am, I blurted out just how interesting it was that they'd made chicken guacamole.
What is in the guacamole mix?
The guacamole is called reina pepiada, no guacamole.
Sorry, reina
Reina pepiada.
Right.
Quickly corrected, I was told that avocado added to something does not make it guacamole. Silly gringo. Lucy shows me that typically you would open the arepa and stuff it like a pita, but she prefers to put everything on her plate, then put it on the corn tortilla after. Inside of mine goes an oversized spoonful of the reina pepiada, followed by the Nicaraguan-style refried beans, and a sprinkling of Canadian feta. It looks like a sort of overstuffed sandwich. Ugh, delicious.
The arepas are ready.
Once everything is ready, some sort of silent dinner bell rang in the ears of the husbands, who I wasn't even aware were here. And there's suddenly a flurry of plate filling before we all disperse around the kitchen to swap travel stories on what life has been like between Nicaragua, Venezuela, and here in North America. The Spanish conversation around me amplifies, and I close my eyes to take a huge bite. As the arepa hits my mouth, I'm instantly transported back to Cartagena, Colombia, where I had my very first arepa experience, and sat eating my 25-cent arepa while the hot, salty air of the Caribbean swept over me.
How do you like?
Oh yeah, really good.
It's good, huh?
Muy rico.
Muy rico.
Just like old times, I set up my tent on Aunt Flora's doorstep, and after a wonderful night of Latin hospitality, in the morning, I was back on the road.
Flora's place here. Look at this little turtle who came to say goodbye to us. Hey, little fella. How are ya? It's like you got up off the water. I don't know why you like to bury yourselves like right in where traffic might drive. But anyways, hope you have a nice day in the sunshine.
The plan tonight was some more lakeside camping. Instead, I ended up riding in the rain, in the dark. Basically the opposite of fun. I eventually had to pull over to a gas station to try and find option 2, a hotel or motel. Luckily I ended up in some small town that I don't even know the name of, and was greeted after hours to a warm room and some snacks the receptionist had stolen from her kid's lunch from me. Sorry, kid. On the last leg of Ontario, I was headed to meet Jim and Heather, a pair of born-again hippies. I'd met Jim nearly 20 years earlier during a 6-month personal development course. That's a whole other story. He'd been watching my travels and saw that I was tracking a course towards his new home near the small town of Warkworth, Ontario. Then he invited me over for cocktails and conversation. Warkworth's a beautiful place along a stunning river setting. But of course, this evening was going to be a whole lot more fun if I first picked up a case of Radlers. On arrival, Jim immediately came out to shake my hand, and without skipping a beat, insisted I park the bike inside his house to escape from the rain I've been riding in.
Do you want to put that in the house? The house is a construction zone.
Sure, if you don't mind, I don't mind.
Tough dry, right?
Yeah, you want me to go through the front door or through a different door?
If you can get her up there, that's probably the easiest.
Okay, yeah.
Not in the garage, not under the awning of his trailer, but right through the front door, right in the middle of the living room. Never wanted to let a moment of making a good first impression pass me by. This is the first time I'll have met Heather, and it was when my bike was parked halfway through her brand new front door.
Give me 1 second here. Well, hey there, how you doing?
Heather Kix.
Nice to meet you, Heather. Sorry, I'll just be a second here while I make a grand entrance here of...
Outside, overlooking their hobby farm, is the holiday trailer they've been living in for the last 2 years, while they chip away at their dream home in the country. One widowed and one divorced, Jim and Heather found themselves while trying to rebuild their lives and opted to rebuild it together. Looking like a couple of smitten school kids, I'd say it was going pretty well. They take me on a garden tour and explain they're more experimentalists than horticulturalists, and have been planting a variety of fruits and vegetables, some options like Chicago hardy and black mission figs, corn, peas, dryland rice, bananas, strawberries, potato, cilantro, and marijuana. All your typical garden plants, really. As a bonus, the property included a number of sugar maples. And as we sit down to the incredible feast they prepared, Jim mixes up some cocktails from a mix of 10-year-old whiskey and some of the amber maple syrup he'd harvested from his own backyard. Amazing! After being the first person to camp in the bedroom, I woke up to the sounds of wild turkeys outside before being welcomed back over to Jim and Heather's trailer for a breakfast of locally harvested preserves and canned goods. Now let's see if I can get this bike out of here without scratching up their front door. Ontario is a massive province with endless lakes, beautiful places to see, and when the weather allows it, it has some fantastic locations to camp or explore on 2 wheels. And, if you like to eat, as one of the country's most culturally diverse provinces, it won't take you long to stumble into the kitchen of locals cooking up some homeland delights from places like Venezuela, Nicaragua, or even out of the garden of a local's backyard, like my friend Jim and Heather. To reword a bit of provincial marketing, Ontario, it's yours to discover. Hey, you there, my little adventuring friend. If you're enjoying the show, take a minute to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Your support helps us get this show out to more incredibly awesome people just like you. And thanks for watching. Next time on the Cook Motorcycle Adventure, I meet up with some friends in Quebec, Canada, the heart of Francophone language, culture, and unique culinary experiences like the controversial tourtière, or more specifically, what I came looking for, the tourtière lac Saint-Jean.